What's up, fam? Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there. Today we are taking a look at a pretty cool piece from Kansept. This is a knife that you can still get certain versions of, however this specific version is gone. This is the Kansept Orion S35, and this has the CNC milled blade. JB Stout Designs. A really interesting looking knife, especially with that milled blade. Tons of milling here on the handle. And you got a thumb disc opening, frame lock with a flipper. Just really oddball knife in every sense of the word, and I mean that with the utmost respect. I actually really dig this knife. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into some information on it. So we're looking at just over a 3-inch blade. It's 3.07 inches, 7.14 inches overall, and 4.06 ounces. It does use S35 VN. It is a JB Stout design. It's actually loosely based on his, and this has got the best name, Squirrel Master XL Custom. So really a really odd name, but you know, like I said, this one is loosely based on that. These were limited to 400. Like I said, there are still some versions of this knife left. However, all of the milled blade ones are gone. So you know, these are just not available right anymore, unless they decide to bring them back, which I doubt they will. Typically when they do a limited run, that's it. So you know, if you do like the design, you can certainly still get the standard version without the milled blade, and I'll try to put some information of those up on the screen if there are any other versions that are available. So price tag on these, I can't remember exactly. I know they were just under $200. Again, I'll put that up on the screen for sure. For some reason, it's not in my notes. But let's go ahead and jump in to the close-ups for this knife, so we can see it in all of its awesomeness here. So a really heavily milled titanium handle here. So even the chamfering on the edges isn't fully chamfered. It's actually just kind of milled out around the edges. And then that milling kind of runs into the inside of the blade, or inside of the handle, excuse me. Lots and lots of milling. We do have a lanyard hole there. T6 and T8 hardware. Got a half-length backspacer. It is jimped as well. Really nice pocket clip, kind of a stylized pocket clip there. Works really well. Kansept does a great job with their pocket clips and how they work. Single cutout, lock bar relief, standard lock bar insert. Nothing unusual there. Just a ton of milling. Really nicely done, nicely located thumb disc. This thing reverse flicks really well. Just really nice and easy for the reverse flick. And here we have a kind of a, I don't know if I'd call this, I guess I'm just going to call it a clip point. It kind of looks not Persian-esque. I can't think of the name of the blade. I'll flash it across the screen here, but for some reason I can't. The name of the blade shape is escaping me. But you know, kind of a modified clip point here. We got a little bit of a poon there. Really nice swedged out, and this crazy milled blade. It just looks so freaking cool. Typical Kansept branding there, but you do have a hand satin on the flats there. On the back side here, we have the Stout Designs, and there you have 054 out of 300, and so the boxes are marked as well, so you can keep everything together. Sharpening looks really good on this. It's a really interesting to see that sharpening here with the milled blade. Looks like this is a pass-around knife, so it looks like the tip may have seen a little bit of damage there, so we're not going to judge that tip, but yeah, we've got a little bit of a bent tip there. Plunge grind is actually quite phenomenal, which is very interesting for having that milled blade. Jimping on the flipper is really nice. You got a really great grip here. Thumb disc gives you a nice lock-in spot there, so your standard grip is really nice with this knife. Excuse me, lock bar access doesn't look like it would be that good, and honestly, it's really not, but it's also not horrible. So you've got enough of an opening there to get in and get that lock bar out of the way. It could stand to be better, so this was ground down just a little bit, or even if this was just opened up on the inside here. So if they had more of an open or relief cut in there to give you more room to get in there. But like I said, it's not it's not a deal breaker, but it's certainly not the best lock bar access. Lockup is really good. And then here, taking a look at the Centering is on point. It's really interesting seeing that milling coming out to the tip there. You can see it looks, the tip looks wavy. So very interesting there as well. Let's go ahead and talk about the knife in general. So again, action is, I mean, it's a Kansept. Action is going to be stellar. I mean, it's kind of a very soft shake shut, or you can just kind of just throw it there. Thumb disc works really well. Like, I am never been the biggest fan of a thumb disc. And buddy Sharif has always said, you know, if you get a good thumb disc, you'll understand it. And I guess this is a really good thumb disc, because it kind of makes me get it a little bit. It makes me understand it. So yeah, I really don't have any issues with the action. Flipper works well. It's in a good spot. The jimping is a little odd because there's no real jimping right here on the edge where you actually hit the flipper. There's jimping down here and jimping up there, but you don't really get any of that when you're using it. You just have that the edge of the flipper. So very interesting to see how that jimping was done. But again, flipper works quite well. Ergonomically, again, it's one of those knives that just doesn't look like it would work. Just by looking at it, looks like it would be jagged and rough. But you get it in your hand and it just kind of melts in. It works well. So you got that spot right there where the thumb disc hits, and that locks your thumb in. The flipper is very comfortable. It's actually one of the few flippers I've ever handled that I really don't mind butting right up against. It just works. It's in a good spot. It's designed well. You can come up here and get kind of a kind of a modified choke up spot. And come out to that, to that kind of modified harpoon there, that thumb ramp there. So you can do that. Now, if this thing didn't have the flipper on it, which it would be quite easy to remove that flipper, then you would have a very nice kind of a landing pad there for your finger. So if it is one where you didn't want to have the flipper, you could certainly remove that, and it wouldn't be any worse for the wear. And it would be quite easy to do because it looks like it's very symmetrical. So that much that's already sticking out there is actually sticking out there. So it should be a very easy flipper delete. And again, I don't think you would actually miss it. But you know, if you like flippers, this is certainly a good one. Go ahead and take a look at our hardware. So again, we should be T6 and T8 hardware here. T6 is checked here. These all look good. So I don't know if I can get to that one. Yeah, I can't get to that one. No real issues with that. Standard double tooled pivot from Kansept. Both of those feel fine, no issues there. Go ahead and jump into our size comparisons. QSP Penguin. So this knife is going to be right in that same range as a lot of the knives here on the table. So they're going to be in that, that 7-inch range here for most of these knives. So this is going to be in that same wheelhouse here. So you can see there it compares very favorably to the Penguin and the Pyrite. Will be more of the same here with the drop bear. And then the Militaw is going to be a little bit of a larger blade. And we'll go back into having the similar sizes with the Bel Air and the Malibu. So you can see that really close in size to a lot of these knives. And then we'll have the big boys coming in with the PM2 and the MSI. So there you have it. Like I said, a really cool knife. This is one that really kind of flew under the radar for me. It wasn't one that I was really too keen on until I got it in hand. And then I'm kind of one of those knives where you just kind of kick yourself a little bit because you're like, man, it's such a good knife. It's so unique looking. It really is something that's collection worthy. So if it's one that you like and you're not obsessed with the milled blade, then you can, like I said, you can still pick these up. They'll be linked down below. And if you want the link blade or the milled blade, then well, hopefully you can find one on the secondary market. Anyway, guys, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. As always, please remember to be kind, be humble, and be EDC. Take care.